my tits were milking. Like I could push him, and I'm at like 21 years old. I'm milking my tits. Are you kidding me?
This is stupid. It's just, why? Why would you do that? Coach Greg, in today's video, the Tren Twins, interviewed by Bradley Martin, open up about all of the steroids they've done, their smallest cycles, the largest cycles. It's a great discussion about steroids, and so let's get right into it.
You reuse your Zins?
You reuse them?
Yeah.
That's what?
I was first listening to this on 3 times speed, and I was like, you're reusing them. I thought he was reusing his needles like that guy Logan. Thankfully, it was Zins. I think those are nicotine pouches that you put in your mouth. I would suggest you don't get into it. He states he keeps trying to quit, and so he has to reuse them because he doesn't want to buy anymore. He says, this is going to be the last time I do it. Unfortunately, he keeps going back to it because obviously it's very addictive. And I do think that you can say the same thing for steroids. Although not physically addictive, mentally very addictive. Once you start, it's very hard to stop, and the temptation is very real. I know that I'm turning 50 soon, and the temptation's still there. You still see how you used to look. You remember the pumps, you remember the strength, and you want to get it back. And so I'm going to suggest you don't do it in the first place because once you get a taste of it, it is very difficult to stop.
You want me to just give you a new one?
No, it's fine. They're good. They're good.
Okay.
I like them better wet. Like, fits better in my mouth.
In case you're wondering, it scrapes the inside of your mouth, so it's essentially eroding it down. And so it then has direct access to your blood vessels, and so the nicotine can get in directly right to you.
A Tren deletes brain cells, like it seeps into your brain.
I actually think that it does. It can make you dumber, and especially while you're taking it, the decisions that you're making, it doesn't make any sense. The fat chicks, the gay thoughts that many people actually experience. I never knew it was like this, but I've done some research and it's an actual thing. I never personally experienced this, but I know that it does happen to other people.
Are you sneaking pins behind my back? This guy can't even pin himself. Yeah, I have to pin him every time.
And so imagine his brother has to do all the pinning for him. He's scared of needles. He can't do it to himself.
So you do it yourself,
Yeah.
and you pin him.
Yeah.
Wait, how come you're not just comfortable with it at this point?
I don't know. I can't count the milligrams and shit. Like I'm just.
And so look, Chris is being honest. He's saying, I can't count the milligrams and be that specific, and I'm scared to make mistakes. And so I'd rather have my brother do it. And I'd rather hear that than people taking a chance. I've coached a lot of people, and sometimes people have no idea the amount of steroids they're taking. They don't know how to do the multiplications, the divisions, or I'll explain something clearly, like take 1 drop of said item and they'll take an entire dropper full. It is dangerous, and so please be careful.
So which one of you guys think runs more gear?
This guy.
I do.
For sure. That's why he's bigger. I promise. I promise this is why this guy's bigger than me.
And so Chris is not lying. He is, in fact, Mike's twin, and Mike wants to do more than Chris. Just because they're twins doesn't mean they want to do the exact same thing. And so Mike is simply more risk tolerant. He'll do the higher doses, the bigger cycles, push the heavier weights.
Genetic anomaly.
Genetic anomaly.
Yeah.
You know him.
Yeah.
He's jacked as fuck. He's big as shit. So he stayed at our house for like a month or 2. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to up my gear. So I was pinning 700 tests, 400 MPP, 4 high user growth. Like, I think I was running, was it D-ball? Yeah, I was running a little bit of D-ball.
Super draw.
So like, yeah, no, not super draw. It was D-ball in Anavar.
When you have friends who do the same things as you, it's very easy to do as they do. And so genetic anomaly, he's a massive freak of a man. And so because he's training with them, perhaps using higher doses as well, it's very easy to do the same thing. Versus in comparison, if genetic anomaly were 100% natural, he'd be more likely to do less. Oftentimes you pick up on the habits of your friends. If they're likely doing something, you're going to do it as well. Let's just break down that cycle. 700 test, 400 NPP, which is DECA, it's fast-acting DECA, 4 IUs of growth hormone, which is exceptionally expensive, as well as D-ball, which is hepatotoxic, and Anavar, which is hepatotoxic, but to a lesser degree. And so that's 2 injectables, 2 orals, and some growth. Many people saying, that isn't a lot. It's not that much. It's a moderate cycle. That is how we are now brainwashed in society. People are cooked. 700 tests alone, that is a lot. Now, is it a lot compared to a professional bodybuilder? No, but it's still a lot. It's an advanced cycle. When you start combining growth hormone with 2 different injectables and 2 different orals, that is a shit ton. And what I do believe is the worst thing in this cycle is the fact that there are 2 orals. You don't need D-bol and Anavar, one or the other. Why are we taking one oral that's going to make you hold a shit ton of water, make you look bloated, convert to estrogen, likely to cause gynecomastia, and another oral that makes you very, very strong but doesn't hold a lot of water? Pick one and go with it. Do you feel me? It would be like saying, I'm going to take Proviron because I don't want to retain a lot of water, but at the same time, I'm going to do Deca because I want to retain a lot of water. Okay, you can do that, but why? It would be like taking Hungrier Than Last Time that makes you hungrier and GLP Max, which makes you less hungry at the exact same time. I mean, you got to pick one. Are we bulking and or cutting? We don't want to do 2 things at the same time. Why would you do that? And so my advice would be to take the Anavar. I'm not a doctor, not saying you do these things, but if you were given the choice between D-bol and Anavar, always do Anavar. I don't care if you're a man, if you're a woman, if you're a powerlifter or a strongman. I don't care. D-bol is more dangerous. It's less healthy. It's cheaper, sure, but it's going to do more harm to the body overall. And once you go off of the D-bol, you're going to lose a lot of the weight that you gain because mostly it's water. You get the moon face, puffy look. It's not as quality, dry, hard gains. In comparison, Anavar, not going to gain as much weight, but the weight that you gain, it's of a greater quality. And so we don't know the exact doses of the D-bol or the Anavar, but if he's, for example, doing 50 milligrams of each, that is an atrocious number. It's so high. You need to understand your body can't handle these doses for a very long time. Briefly, your liver is very resilient. It can handle it. But if you continue to do this, for example, Bradley states he did 100 milligrams of Anavar. If you did 100 milligrams of Anavar for 1 or 2 days, I'm certain that almost everyone's body could handle it. But if you keep it going for a week, a month, that's when the serious damage occurs.
Well, you guys asked me about the Tren thing. I've talked about it before, but I took it for like a week, maybe a week and a half, and I didn't feel good.
Yeah.
Because I was already on tests, and I was like, let me try this. And I did feel good when I was training, but every other aspect of my life, I was like, I don't feel good.
I 100% felt the same way as Bradley, only I kept doing it. I didn't feel good. I hated it. I couldn't wait to get off, but I liked the way I looked. And so why do you think I was taking the steroids? I wanted to win bodybuilding competitions. Did I use it for powerlifting? No. But for bodybuilding, to have that look, that quality appearance, I needed it. I hated the feeling. And so when I trained for powerlifting, I didn't need to use Tren. And so essentially, I saved it for bodybuilding competitions, and I would use it for approximately 8 weeks. But 8 weeks on Tren, it's a nightmare.
I'll pin that shit right. And like immediately blood pressure increases, heart rate increases, like your body knows.
I think that's just from your fear of getting Tren Cough that you do it to yourself.
Have you ever had that shit?
I've had it once, yeah. Well, it would have been that week.
Yeah. No, like I thought I was dying.
And so like Chris, like Bradley, Tren Cough is certainly real. It's not make it up. It's not folklore. You're coughing so hard, it feels like you're going to throw up and you can't stop. You're thinking, what if I don't stop? Could I die? You're standing there thinking, should I call 911? Because what happens if I can't get any air? That is how hard you're coughing. Instead of all of this stuff, the steroids and so on, why not take natural supplements that can help you to build muscle? This is what we all want. We want to build muscle, but we don't want the negative side effects of steroids. And so why not get Turk Builder Max or Turk Platinum? Don't forget, code Greg, 15% off. And if you try it and it doesn't work as well as you were hoping, it's a money back guarantee. And on top of that, a $20 gift card.
So you guys actually, you did at one point take Tren, like consistently, but not
I was just on it like a few weeks ago, and like I was running Tren only, like no test.
I mean, I know their names are the Tren Twins, but are we going to do Tren-only cycles? This is stupid. It's just, why? Why would you do that? I don't understand why one would choose to use one of the worst, if not the worst, steroid and use it on its own. When you use other steroids, for example, testosterone or mastrone or EQ, it increases the strength of the cycle. Every compound that you add, it makes the cycle that much stronger. And so the more of the other steroids that you use, the less of the tren that you require. And so if you're doing a tren-only cycle, you're going to have to use a lot more tren than if you used other compounds. If you use other compounds, you could lower the dose of the tren or use none of it at all. Does that not seem like a better move?
We were experimenting with Kyle, coached us for our show. He doesn't.
Yeah, the guy.
Kyle does not prescribe us anything. He knows we're dumbasses.
I feel bad because like he's my coach, but like I don't listen, and I just do all this dumb shit, and I don't want him to look bad.
And so they admit it. They hire a coach and don't listen to what they suggested. What are you gonna do?
We were just like experimenting, and I was on test and tren. He was just on tren.
No, because we were coming off, right? We were like, yo, let's take a break for a long time. Which we have now, a month into that, are deciding.
A month and a half, yeah.
To do another.
I just started another cycle.
So you said the break.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So they decide to come off, right? And so they're going to come off of steroids, but they leave in tren. Now, tren is the most suppressive of all. Of all the ones I can think of off the top of my head, it's probably the most suppressive. That means that it takes the longest for your body to bounce back from. When you go off performance-enhancing drugs, you're allowing your body to recover, to heal, to repair. This will then result in LH and FSH starting to go up, and then your body's going to produce testosterone. But if you leave any steroid in your cycle, it's not going to do that. And so think of it. You're going to go off to heal your body, repair, recover, all that good stuff. But you leave in tren. Tren is the harshest. And so it's not going to recover. It's not going to repair. And so they decide to go off, but guess how long they could stay off? I thought it was going to be the entirety of the summer. 6 weeks. It takes 6 weeks for the product that you're using just to clear out of your system. And so if you go off for 6 weeks, you weren't actually off. Does that make sense? I'm not sure if people understand that, but let's say you injected 1,000 milligrams of steroids on July 1st. If it has a half-life of 5 days, 5 days later, the 1,000 milligrams, it's still 500. 5 days later after that, 10 days into it, it's still at 250. 15 days, 125. 20 days, 62.5. And every 5 days after that, it continues to go in half. Now, your body only produces about 60 milligrams of test in a given week. And so, do you really think that if you've been off for a couple of weeks that you're actually off? 2 weeks later, you're still at 125. You're still double what a normal human is experiencing. And so, does it really feel like you're off? And remember, some esters are longer than others. It does, in fact, depend. But you're not going to feel like you're actually off, that you're feeling like garbage, that your sex drive is in the toilet, that you can't get an erection until perhaps 6 weeks after you stop.
Have you ever taken a break?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. When he tore his pec. Yeah.
Before that, after prep, I took a break, and then.
He says, did you ever take a break? Once you start using steroids, it's very often hard to stop. Some people blast and cruise. Other people, they go on a PCT and they recover. I've done both. Now, he says he stopped after his bodybuilding competition, but do you not remember what happened after his bodybuilding competition? Was that not when he bench pressed 585 pounds and then tore his pec? I certainly know that he was not natural when he did that. And so if he did in fact go off, it must have been for such a short period of time that it allowed him to gain back all his strength. And so if he did in fact go off, it could not have been long enough, because he shortly after that put on so much size and got strong so quickly that he actually tore his pec. If you need your blood work taken, get monitored by a professional, please go and check out Algo RX. I'm a part owner of the company. They're going to take the best possible care of you. These guys have so much experience. Trust them 100%. And so if you're interested, click the link in the description. For coaching, of course, you can also click the link. And for the cookbooks, the training books, the Circle Diet book, clothing line, get to the website right now. Subscribe, click the bell button, and comment to boost the algorithm. Please like the video. Don't forget to watch one of those two bloops. And of course, until next time, I am out.